This is our two-story guide, so listen closely, thank you. Title: The Haunting of Ravenswood Manor. Introduction. Ravenswood Manor stood at the edge of a windswept cliff, its Gothic spires cutting into the gray sky. Once a grand estate, it had been abandoned for decades after the mysterious disappearance of the Whitlock family. The townspeople spoke of strange lights in the windows, eerie music echoing in the night, and shadows that moved on their own. Two curious college students, Lily and Ethan, decided to investigate, unaware of the terror that awaited them. Chapter 1. The Invitation. Lily and Ethan loved exploring old abandoned places. When Ethan found an old, handwritten invitation on a library desk that read, "You are cordially invited to Ravenswood Manor, Saturday night," they couldn't resist. "Do you think it's real?" Ethan asked, showing Lily the ornate script. Lily raised an eyebrow. "It's probably a prank, but let's check it out. Who knows? It might be fun." The following Saturday, armed with flashlights and their phones, they drove to the manor. The air grew colder as they approached, and fog swirled around the wrought iron gates. The massive doors creaked open as if expecting them. Chapter 2. The Grand Hall. The foyer was breathtaking despite the decay. A grand chandelier hung precariously, its crystals reflecting faint light. A thick layer of dust covered the floors, but a fresh trail of footprints led deeper into the house. "Someone's been here recently," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan nodded, uneasy. "We'll stick together." They followed the trail into a vast dining hall. A long table was set with silverware and plates as if awaiting guests. At the head of the table sat a single lit candle, its flame steady despite the draft. "Creepy," Ethan muttered, his eyes scanning the room. Suddenly the sound of a piano filled the air, soft and haunting. They froze. "It's coming from upstairs," Lily said, her voice shaking. Chapter 3. The Portrait Room. They climbed the grand staircase, each step groaning under their weight. The music grew louder, leading them to a room filled with portraits. Dozens of painted eyes seemed to follow them as they entered. Lily pointed to a massive painting of a stern-looking man in a black suit. "That must be Mr. Whitlock. He looks angry." Ethan's flashlight flickered. "Let's just keep moving." As they turned to leave, the door slammed shut. The portraits seemed to shift, their expressions growing darker. A cold voice echoed through the room. "You are not welcome here." Chapter 4. The Library. Panicked, they forced the door open and ran down the hallway, stumbling into the library. Shelves lined with dusty books towered over them. In the center of the room stood a desk with an open book. "What's that?" Ethan asked, pointing to the book. Lily leaned closer, reading aloud. "The Whitlocks will rise again when the unwelcome disturb their rest." The room grew colder, and the sound of footsteps echoed behind them. They turned to see a figure in the shadows, its face obscured, but its intent clear. "Run!" Lily screamed. Chapter 5. The Basement. Their flight led them to a hidden door that opened to a staircase descending into darkness. With no other choice, they hurried down, the figure's footsteps close behind. The basement was a maze of stone walls and flickering candles. At the center was a circle of symbols, carved into the floor, glowing faintly. "This must be some kind of ritual site," Ethan said, his voice shaking. A guttural growl echoed through the chamber as the figure appeared at the top of the stairs. It stepped into the light, revealing a gaunt face with hollow eyes. "You've awakened us," it rasped. "Now you must stay." Chapter 6. The Escape. Lily grabbed a metal rod from the ground. "We're not staying." The creature lunged, but she swung the rod, hitting it squarely. It shrieked, and the room seemed to tremble. Ethan found an old lantern and smashed it against the wall, igniting a fire. "Come on," he yelled, pulling Lily toward the stairs. The flames spread quickly, consuming the symbols on the floor. The creature howled in pain as the fire engulfed it. They raced up the stairs and out of the manor, the inferno lighting up the night behind them. Epilogue. The Aftermath. The next day they returned with the police, but Ravenswood Manor was nothing but ashes. No remains were found, and the townspeople refused to speak of the Whitlocks. Lily and Ethan vowed never to seek out the unknown again, But at night, they both heard the faint sound of a piano, reminding them that some mysteries are better left untouched.